Hey family, welcome to the Hub. Oh my goodness. So today I have Carrie Ann DaCosta, speech pathologist. So excited to have you, Carrie Ann. Welcome, girl. How you doing?
What's up? I'm wonderful. Thanks, Coach Cass. Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to have you on the show. So, we're nosy girls. So tell us a little bit about your love journey.
My love journey is a slow one, I guess is the best way to describe it. I've had relationships in the past, and they just haven't worked out for whatever reason. Timing is usually what has been the issue. Either I wasn't ready or they weren't ready. And, during the pandemic, the journey has been on pause. Let's put it that way. So my journey is slow, but I'm very hopeful for what's to come.
Yay, hopeful. So what's your question for me, Carrie Ann? What you got brewing?
So I am a traveler. So I'm a travel medical speech pathologist. So I go from city to city 3 months at a time. If there is an opportunity for me to extend, I'll stay there a little bit longer. So for example, I've been here for about 6 months in California, and I'll be extending for another 3. So my question to you is, what's your advice for a woman who is a mover and a shaker and is going around? How do we meet people, and how would you approach that conversation when that comes out? Because I feel that's always a concern for people is, well, you're going to be leaving soon. Right. What would your advice?
Oh man, that's a tough one, right, Carrie Ann? And I know that's your reality, and so many women that listen to this podcast is you just have to go, and that's what it is. A part of it would be is putting in your mind that love can be found anywhere, right? Because I know a part of it is like, okay, well, I'm not sure if I'm going to stay here. So then you don't really try that hard or really try and connect that much because you know that the ending date is soon. So you say, okay, well, maybe I'll go on a date. Maybe I won't because I'm not going to really be here. So then it's a part of, how do you view love? Do you view it as temporary or do you view it as permanent? That's the first thing that comes up for me. So what would your answer be for that?
It's permanent. It's definitely permanent. Love is permanent. And that's also another challenge too, because you don't want the person to feel like you want to marry them tomorrow, but at the same time, you want to take advantage of the opportunity where we are in the same place. So it's definitely permanent in my head, but I always feel like I want to make sure that I don't perceive, I don't want to push off that I want it tomorrow.
Let's go. Hey. So I think it really is pretending as if you're not leaving. Because what you just said is that you have a contract and then you could end up extending, or you could actually apply to another contract in the area or within driving distance. So part of it could be saying, you know what, I'm here. I'm going to be present to the fact that I'm here and see what's available here. And don't look at it as, okay, I got 17 weeks to go. So if this doesn't move along, I'm just going to have to cut it. So there's no love lost, right? So a part of it is, okay, so if love is permanent and I attract love and the person who's right for me will understand, then as you date, it's not focused on I'm leaving soon versus is this just the right connection for me, right? Because I feel like you still have that filter that you're going through, like, okay, like, when do I bring this up? It happens, and it's something that people feel. So a part of it will be is one, since love is permanent, I am going to be present to the person in front of me and just see how we connect, period. Because at the end of the day, I can work this out. Because I'm a travel medical practitioner, I have options, right? And that option could be to stay. How does that resonate with you?
Yeah, very true. Very true. And I do consider that, I'm a free agent, honestly. That's the way I consider myself as far as my job as well. I'm not married to any particular city or place right now, but if the opportunity presented itself, I would absolutely set roots and make a home of a permanent place.
Yeah. So for you and anyone listening on the travel scene, I definitely, is still go for it, because at the end of the day, nothing else is promised. And it really does. I know it sounds cliche, but it all will work out. So what are you doing currently to meet people?
Not much. Not much. I have to be honest with you, not much. I dabble in the online dating. It's not my favorite. It really isn't. And I know that's probably, if I have that in my head and I approach it that way, then that's probably the outcome that I'm going to get. So I do enjoy meeting people organically. That's usually what has worked out for me in the past. But right now I'm not doing anything actively, honestly. And it's challenging to go out and to try to meet people. And when you see people, they're, all they're seeing is, a quarter of your face. So it has been challenging. But right now I'm not doing anything. I just turned off the app because I needed a break. I needed a second. Sometimes it gets to be too much, or it's just frustrating. And so currently I'm not doing anything, to be honest.
Okay. So since you're not doing anything on the apps, right? Have you met some cool coworkers?
No.
Okay.
No. It's a small town. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's a small town. And believe it or not, there's not that many men that work in the hospital. There's a lot of women that work in the hospital.
But women know men is what I'm saying, right?
True. Very true.
So you're in town, they've lived here, right?
Yeah.
So who's to say that they don't have a friend? You said organic. So have you shared at lunchtime, at snack time, at meeting time, like, hey, do you know any eligible bachelors here?
So I haven't specifically said that. I know sometimes, they'll say, oh, I wish you would stay. And, I'll joke around. I'm like, find me a husband and I will. And so I do kind of make those kind of jokes just to plug it in that way. And yeah, there have been people in other assignments who have tried that way and say, oh, I know somebody, I have someone I could link you up with. But again, there is that challenge now, and hopefully that will change soon in the future, that you can have a setting where you can go somewhere and meet someone. But I think everybody right now is just a little concerned about socializing.
Yeah. So. You could still do a 6-foot walk in the park and sit
True.
at the table. Like, people do it. Okay. Well, a lot of my clients are still getting out there, even in the cold, to go on dates and meet people. So I would say, don't put it out of your mind just yet. Wear your mask, be safe.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You can still connect with folks. So, okay, online dates are off, or online dating app is off. 2, you may just be a little bit more specific to your coworkers. Okay, so 3, since you're not going out, how else can you connect with someone? Then there's still social media.
True.
So in terms of social media, there's the new hottest thing, Clubhouse, right?
Yeah.
Where everybody is like obsessed. And get on Clubhouse, you hear the voice and the mind of different people from all over the country, right?
Yes.
And
True.
so my invitation, it's an invitation, is to see, who you like in terms of what they're saying on stage. And, it's all connected to their Instagram. So then head over to their Instagram and see, what else they're talking about. And then if it intrigues you and they seem single, right? Air quotes, and they seem single, maybe just slide in the DM and say, hey, I love what you were saying in blah, blah, blah group. And just leave it at that, right? And just see if anything comes of it, right? There's many people that have met on social media, even though social media is not a dating app.
True.
people are still single across all the things, right? So now there's a whole new world where you can hear the mind of how someone thinks and say, oh, well, that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents for you.
Well,
Okay. What comes up for you? Any additional question comes up with that?
I think for me, it's just getting comfortable with doing that. You know, it's all of that is new territory. Making the first move is new territory. It's not something that I'm used to. So I think it's just about, like you said, we're not able to have as much connection one-on-one, and so it's about being a little more active. I'm super active on my stories, but then those disappear within 24 hours, right? So it's about just taking advantage. I got cute for you today, Coach Cass, so I will take a picture.
Yeah. And then you can create highlights from the stories. Remember that stays longer. So you could do little highlights from your trips or your travels and things, the fun stuff. So that's a little something. In terms of making the first move. So this is my pushback to you, right? I know in the old school, we want the guy to come see us, say hello to us, all the things. But just think about how hard that is in today's society, right? Whether it's quarantine or social media, the amount of times they've been rejected. It's not bad to just put out an olive branch to say, hey, you may have a possibility here. Like I know a few men that have never hit on women just because they were also introverted, right? So just remember different personality types, and they're married now, so it's like somebody had to say something. So you specifically are saying, okay, well, I am going to wait to be fully found in the crevices of my home.
Yeah.
In the back layer, like who is going to find you? The Amazon Prime man or the Uber Eats man? Which one?
And none of them are there because I'm at work. So true story. Yeah, I gotta branch out.
Right?
Gotta get my branches together. So I'm sure.
You got to put the little olive branch out and understand, Carrie Ann, this does not mean that you're desperate or thirsty or any of those things, right? Because you are a whole woman, a wanted woman, like you got it going on. But at the same time, if you're so busy, how is he going to connect with you unless you say, hi?
Yeah.
I'm not saying you have to invite him on the date. I'm not saying you have to plan the date. I'm not saying you have to do anything. I'm saying that you could just be like, hi.
Yeah.
Right?
Good point.
And if somebody is interested or they're like, hey, they're like, well, hello, right? all you have to do is, like the old school, show your wrist a little bit, take your glove down and show your wrist a little bit, like, hello. I've been watching too much Bridgerton, right? So it's
oh, listen, I love that show.
it's
great. I'm there for the plot.
Right? No, seriously, it's so good.
It is really. It is. It's
so
amazing.
I just literally, okay, I am now transitioning to conversation about Bridgerton. So what's your favorite part about watching Bridgerton? Please.
Well, at face value, love the costumes, love everybody's hair and makeup. It's amazing. But it's interesting to kind of see how it still parallels with everybody feeling like you have to find a mate. This is the season, it's just figuratively, this is your season to find your husband. You must find your husband before the season is over. So I kind of resonated with that. And it was just interesting seeing the different characters and how that played out. And the love story at the end, just the fact that it wasn't, roses and butterflies and unicorns the whole way. They had their issues, they had their moments. And at the end of the day, love prevailed. So I loved it all. And I mean, the Duke wasn't, bad to look at either. Just saying.
It's like, hey, how you doing? So I concur with all of what you said. And then on top of that, making interracial relationships normal, right? So essentially we're both Jamaicans. So I'm pretty sure your family looks like mine in terms of all the colors of the rainbow. And so it's normal for me to have a white cousin, and then also normal for me to have a dark-skinned cousin, and they're all my family, and so for me, it really made my heart smile to look at this love story in many facets of people of different races and stages, and them not really pushing it, right? It's just like, it's just, this is life.
Yeah, it wasn't. I loved that. I loved that about the movie, that race was never an issue. It wasn't about it at all. So yeah, that was nice to see.
Yeah. So going back to this is your season. This is your season, right? So for grace, for favor. So looking at your season, that is a good point, right? So these ladies, they're coming into their season and they better get their suitor or they're gonna be gone, right? Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Or let me just pick up this old guy so that I can have somebody to take care of me, right? So for all those listening, I'm pretty sure that that has kind of gone through your mind, the settling type of thing. I guess I could settle for this guy because he's kind of breathing in front of me and I'm not sure if I'll have another person. But look, even the person that did, have that thought, she did get someone pretty awesome who wanted to be with her and take care of her and honor her. So part of that also made me think like, yeah, you really shouldn't settle for the old guy, quote unquote. You should go for what you know and something that is great and could serve you in life. So yeah.
Definitely. And that's why my journey is where it is today, honestly, is because I know that there is someone out there for me. And I know that true love does exist. And so, yeah.
So what do you do for fun, though, Carrie Ann? Work, work, work. And what's your fun? What can we find you doing on a Saturday night if you don't have to work?
Well, I love to travel. So, I mean, that's not really realistic per se right now, but I'm still able to do it for my job. So even in the middle of the pandemic, I was able to live in New York for a summer, which is something that I've always wanted to do. And so being able to travel, you get to do within that, explore new places, meet new people. And I love food. I'm a foodie. So Saturday, pardon?
What's your favorite?
But meat. Yeah, I'm not picky. Like I love seafood. I love a good lamb on the grill. So I don't have a type of food per se that I like. It has to have meat in it. So I'm not necessarily going to go to a vegan restaurant. I'm starting to embrace my vegetables. So that's good. But any type of good food, paired with like a nice glass of wine or brunching. I love to brunch, I really look forward to that day that we can go back to just sitting at a table for hours with bottomless mimosas and just, enjoying great food and having a great time. So that's one of my favorite pastimes. And just outdoor things. I love to do adventurous things. You can see me, I went to Costa Rica for my birthday year before last, and it was one of the best birthdays ever. We went zip lining, and then afterward we went horseback riding, took a nap, had a great dinner by the beach, and then we went to a club, just a few of us, and partied. And it was the best birthday ever because it kind of encompassed all the things that I like to do. So right now, like on a Saturday, there's not much to do. I cooked myself a really nice dinner. And that was it.
Okay. Well, hey, y'all heard it here. She could cook. She likes adventure. She likes to dance. So if anybody wanted to get in touch with you and maybe slide in a DM, how could they do that?
So I am on Instagram, and my handle is KerriD08, KERID, the number 0 and the number 8.
Okay, Carrie D. And does the 08 have any significance?
It does. I'm the number 8 on my line.
Oh, you're number 8 on your line. And
yeah.
Which sorority are you a member of, my dear?
Let's just say I've been an extremely, extremely happy lady since Madam Vice President been elected and is in office. I'm a proud member.
Well, congratulations. Alpha Kappa.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thanks so much for just gracing us with your presence and sharing your story. I'm pretty sure that this conversation has helped some folks to just start to think about, what does it mean to love while on the go, right? And that love can still exist But first, we got to make time for it. Second, we have to think of things as permanent and not temporary. And third, we got to tell people around us, but they just might know somebody. So thanks so much for tuning in. And please do follow me at Inspire Many on Instagram and share, your thoughts from today's episode. We appreciate you and we'll see you next time.
Bye. Yeah.